Public outcry in South Korea over the alleged child abuse of 16-month-old baby Jeongin, which resulted in her death. Now, I believe that the police do share some of the responsibility of her death. That's all coming up right now. Police. What's up, guys? Fooch from Fooch TV here. Now, sad news to start off the year. Public outcry as a result of a 16-month-old baby's death due to alleged child abuse. Let's talk about that story right now. A 16-month-old baby Jeongin passed away on October 13th, 2020 in an emergency room in Seoul. At the time that she had died, she had fractures all over her body. Her organs had suffered severe damage and she had internal bleeding. When she arrived in the emergency room on October 13th, she had multiple severe fractures on her skull, ribs, collarbone, and multiple organ failure. 16-month-old baby Jeongin reportedly had died from 9 months of excruciating child abuse done by her adoptive parents. Now, the reason why so many people are getting upset now, a few months after her murder, is because of a television program, SBS's Unanswered Questions. They had a segment about this case, and in the television show, they took a woman who was about the same size of the adoptive mother, and they showed that in order to cause the same amount of damage that was done to Jeongin, the woman would have had to jump off the couch onto the baby's abdomen. The mother is going to be going to trial on January 13th in just about 10 days. Korean celebrities, including BTS's Jimin, have taken to social media to apologize to the murdered child, Jeongin, by saying 정인아미안해, which is essentially, I'm sorry, Jeongin. As of earlier this afternoon, there were over 1 million tweets with the hashtag. Police in charge of handling this case are receiving criticism now, as I believe they should be, and they should be punished, as a result of the police receiving 3 separate reports of suspected child abuse. These reports were filed by a teacher at a daycare center as well as Jeongin's pediatrician. Recently floating around on the internet is a note from an alleged police officer who was involved in a child abuse case a couple of years ago. This police officer, after recently joining the force, was very enthusiastic of being a police officer and helping others. Upon receiving a report of suspected child abuse, after investigation, it was, in fact, true that the child was being abused, and the police officer took the child away from the parents. Now, upon doing so, the police officer received many complaints from the parents and their friends and acquaintances saying that this was an abuse of power and even accusing him of assaulting them. Now, after a 2-year-long lawsuit, it resulted in a 3-month suspension of the police officer, as well as him being assigned to either a police box or a very small precinct. After everything was said and done, he had mentioned in the note that he had no desire at all to help children again. Now, I don't know exactly what happened in Jeongin's case after the 3 police reports were filed, but clearly something is going on in the police station where clearly police officers are being too lazy to actually do something, or they don't want to get into any trouble, so then they just stay out of it, which means that nobody does anything at all. For those of you who live in Korea, maybe you already know that the Korean police are notorious for being absolutely useless. An example of this was last year, a case in Shimdong, a neighborhood that I actually used to live in. Now, one early morning, a girl was walking home and she was followed by a man. He followed her into her apartment building, and as she was closing the door to the actual unit, he tried to push open the door to get himself in, to possibly rape her or sexually assault her. Fortunately, the door was able to close and lock in time. Now, she immediately called the police, who came and visited the building but refused to investigate and do anything at all. It wasn't until the young girl, who was frustrated and scared, posted the video to Facebook did it get a whole bunch of public attention, and then the police were forced to investigate it and arrested the guy. Now, I do not understand why the police here are so useless. I would love if you guys, if you know, can give me an answer to this question. Yes, I know the police in the US sometimes use excessive force, not all the time. Not every shooting, not every cop shooting is excessive force. A lot of them are warranted. However, sometimes there is excessive force, and those are all tragedies. And I know that system may not be good with police brutality. However, in Korea, we have the exact opposite problem of the police being absolutely useless. They don't want to do their jobs. They don't want to investigate. They're very reluctant. I also have a case where I dealt with the police. That's coming up in the next video, or a video happening very soon. So hang on tight to that. I have experience with the police being useless. Many people have experience with the police being useless, and it's a very well-known fact that the police in Korea are essentially useless. That's all I have for today. So remember, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Subscribe, unsubscribe, do whatever you feel like, and I'll catch you guys next time.